Welcome back. In the last episode, I finally got to sit down with David Farrington and pick his brain, from not only a sailor's point of view, but also from the point of view of the lagoon service manager. And he was adamant about the fact that becoming a lagoon catamaran owner was definitely the way to go for this project that I've got my heart set on. I can't explain it, but some people are just born for adventure. They hear the calling, and they're compelled to get off the couch and see what's around the corner or over that horizon. I'm going on this quest to prove that the heart of history's greatest explorers and adventurers is alive and well today. This is your invitation to
escape from reality.
Back on the dock, Phillip Winter was in his element as MC of this event, and he's just about to kick off a rather unique event, the Blindfolded Dinghy Race.
This morning, we've got a really fun race. It's going to be a blindfolded dinghy race. Okay, here's how it works. The person rowing is going to have a blindfold, and the other person on the dinghy is going to be shouting out directions. We're going to take off from the dinghy dock, row out around an orange buoy that's about 50 yards away. We're going to row around that and back. The first boat to touch the dinghy dock wins. Thank you all. Bonne journée. Appreciate it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, on your mark, go!
So after this blindfolded dinghy race was over, I knew that this was my time to get Phillip in the hot seat and get his expert advice. Now I know that I've mentioned in past episodes that Phillip is actually a yacht broker, but I also briefly mentioned that he was quite a legit salty sailor.
Salty.
Well, don't just take my word for it. Phillip's got a great series of stories and he's going to tell you all about it. Now this might be a loaded question since he is in fact a yacht broker, but I'm going to try to appeal to the sailor in Phillip and see if this lagoon catamaran is the way to go.
The spirit of adventure to me is living life to the fullest. I love to get out on the water, in the water. I love bringing myself to that feeling where it's me against nature. It's just you, the outside, the weather, the ocean, the boat. My senses get stronger, I see better, I hear better. So for me, it's the perfect way to get out and really feel the world in a primal way. The scariest moment of my life out on the water was actually when I was working as a marine biologist on Japanese fishing boats in the Bering Sea, halfway between Russia and Alaska, up close to the Pribilof Islands. I was able to go out to sea 2 or 3 months at a time on these Japanese fishing boats. Summertime, very boring, the Bering Sea. But I'll tell you, when storms kicked up and I was out there in the wintertime, the whole boat's icing up, it's rolling from side to side, having to break all the ice off, keep the boat pointed into the swell, and make sure that we stayed alive. That was the scariest open ocean moments of my life. I started sailing with my dad when I was about 6 years old, sailing Lido 14s. in high school, I started racing with my dad on a 42-foot ocean-going catamaran. When I was 13 years old, I met the boat in Hawaii. My first ocean race was on that same catamaran around the state of Hawaii for Southern California catamaran aficionados. It was on Imiloa with Vic Stern, a legend in the catamaran racing world in Southern California. In 1987, I got my captain's license, moved to Hawaii, started running boats, and went down and moved to Tahiti for a year running charters on a 72-foot ketch. That led me to a really awesome adventure, sailing back from Tahiti via Pitcairn Island on an 80-foot schooner. The schooner's name was Kailani. We ended up in San Diego about 63 days later, so it was really an epic trip on a really great boat. And immediately moved off to Europe to start doing some more sailing. Ended up coming back to the US in '92 to work with the French America's Cup Syndicate as compound manager.
The America's Cup is the world's oldest sporting event and stands as an enduring symbol of the pursuit of excellence.
Another epic chapter in my life. Really learned a lot about high-level sailing and racing. After the America's Cup, went back to France and ended up as captain on a 90-foot catamaran and took it to all the boat shows through the Mediterranean. From there, after my second child was born, I decided to be a little more home-based, ended up working with a company going around the world setting up high-speed ferry services. Fun time in my life, traveled a lot, kids got to live in different countries, different places in the US. I ended up moving to Catalina Island, just a few miles down the road from Emerald Bay where we are right now, as harbor master. I ran all of the moorings outside of Avalon around the island, eventually led to my position as vice president of the island company, and had a tremendous stay on Catalina Island. Very rustic location, but an absolute wonderful adventure. I did meet a lot of very interesting people. Among them was a wonderful French gentleman by the name of Charles-Étienne Devanneau. That progressed, we became close friends, and I couldn't wait for Charlie's next adventure in Two Harbors so we could get together. We met one year when I was at the Miami Boat Show, and he was there with his company. And he made a prediction at that boat show. "Philip, you're gonna work for me someday." So turns out the next year that came true. I left Catalina Island and began to work for NAOS Yachts, and I can't tell you how many people we get to work with and how many dreams we get to make come true by working with them on finding the perfect boat for their adventures. First open ocean race was on a catamaran, so I have a long-standing love affair with catamarans. My earliest memories of sailing and racing have been on catamarans. A couple of years ago, was able to sell a Lagoon 620, a really nice boat. We delivered it to the owners. As soon as their child was born, they moved on board the boat in the Mediterranean, and a few months later, they were ready to cross the Atlantic Ocean. They asked me if I'd like to go with them across the Atlantic Ocean, and I said, "I'll happily go with you, but my dad does every delivery with me." I asked them if it was okay if my dad came along, and they said sure. So we did the ARC, the Atlantic Rally for Cruisers, where 300 boats all sail across the Atlantic together. My dad at that time was 84 years old, was the oldest participant out of all of the boats, and the 8-month-old baby at that time was the youngest participant out of all the boats. Turns out we were the first catamaran across the finish line too. Some people are always going to be more comfortable in a monohull. For them, sailing is the drive, the power, the feeling that you get when you're bashing through the waves, heeled over. It's really a thrill. I love that feeling. I love to get out and cruise and spend time on the boat, do long distance. That's where a catamaran comes in as being much more comfortable, much more livable. I love the motion and the feel on a catamaran. A lot of different manufacturers of catamarans out there on the market today. Lagoon is the #1 selling catamaran in the world. As part of Group Beneteau, it has a strong resource behind it to not only buy well, but also manufacture well. The manufacturing process for every Group Beneteau boat is second to none in the world. The boats are built strong. They're not built to be racing catamarans, they're built to be production cruising catamarans. And they're really built to set sail with the family to sail around the world. I get asked all the time, are these boats really capable of cruising around the world? It's a pretty simple answer for me. There are not just hundreds of lagoon catamarans out cruising the world, there are literally thousands out cruising the world in every corner of the globe right now. Everybody we work with, if they're choosing between one boat or another, they see the lagoon factory, they end up buying a lagoon.
Well, if that doesn't make you want to go out on the water looking for adventure, I don't know what will. Phil has me super pumped. But I got one last sailor here on the island to get in the hot seat, and that is Charlie Deveneaux. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.
Escape from reality.
This is my shameless plug to ask you to help me out. I need your support to help me put this media project together. So we've chosen to partner with Patreon. Patreon is a crowdfunding site where you can donate to projects and causes, and the way it works is really simple. You just go to this website right here, and you sign up, then you can give or donate or offer any amount that you want so that I can continue making these epic adventures for you. And not to sound cliche, but every little bit helps. And all of our videos will be available for free so you don't have to donate. However, if you become one of our Restless Native patrons, you get all kinds of perks in the form of pirate booty, contests, and swag. And just a few of those little perks include exclusive early access to our episodes and videos, live feeds to me and the crew. And once in a while, you'll be entered into a drawing to win free trips in Key West so that you can go sailing with us. And then you and a guest can be in one of the episodes. And that's just a few of the good benefits you'll receive by being a member of our little tribe. I've been often accused of enjoying the sound of my own voice, so I'm going to spare you the rambling diatribe on all the things that you're going to get. You can see what me and the crew are up to on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and of course our website. And just so you don't miss anything, I'd love you to follow and subscribe to them all. And with that said, welcome aboard, matey. Your support is putting wind in our sails so that you can share these adventures with you. Thanks so much for watching.